Okay, today I'm going to discuss about Apache Kafka, and then we will again continue with the Spark streaming, which is a Spark structure streaming, which we are seeing in the last sessions. Um, Kafka is uh, uh, one of the modern adopted publish subscribe messaging system. Okay, so this was introduced by the LinkedIn. LinkedIn, they were using this, or maybe they developed this project, this Kafka project, to exchange data between different data services or data components. Okay, this was initially developed as a data exchanging tool or platform. Okay, later this has become one of the commonly used messaging system, which is in a real time, and also it is in a distributed manner. So why it's a distributed manner? So because it adopts again the not just one framework or service. We just take the data from one system and publish to the other system. Okay, and it's not only the a single service or single component to handle the data exchange. So uh, it actually helps you to build a cluster of servers, okay, which does the data exchange or publish subscribe. So in Kafka, there are a few terminologies which we should learn uh, in order to understand the Kafka in detail. Okay, so Kafka cluster, okay, cluster, we know it's a group of machine or nodes or server. Okay, so each server works as a broker. Okay, so Kafka broker is the one which will be configured in a particular node in a Kafka cluster. So so it's similar like in Hadoop or Spark cluster, you can have a worker node, right? Similarly, broker is also one of the service which will be uh, configured in the server. So broker acts as uh, a service which is going to handle the lot of messages from the source system, and uh, we make it available for the consumer which act as other systems, right? So you see there is a, if you see uh, there is other terminology we need to understand is a producer. Okay, so producer is just a terminology, whichever component or source system which publishes the message to the Kafka cluster, they act as a producer. Okay, so it's a terminology. Okay, so they will use Kafka client to publish the data to the Kafka broker. All right. So then there is another terminology called consumer. Consumer as the target system or destination system, or you can say downstream system, which consumes the messages from the Kafka. Okay, so so if you take a producer, where is the place where producer is going to send the data? So there comes the terminology called topic. So topic is, you can think of as a table in a database. Okay, so because Kafka is going to store your data, which is published by the producer, so there should be a place to store your data, right? So that is called a topic. So topic is kind of a placeholder or buffer where your data is stored. Okay, and it's not stored as a single in a single machine. It can be stored on a multiple machine as a partition. Okay, so Kafka topic can have multiple partition, and single partition can hold set of data, and other partition hold data, and which will be available in other machines. So it's kind of distributed. That's why they say It's a distributed publish subscribe messaging system. Okay, so a topic, and we saw what is partition, consumer and producer. Okay, now let's understand how to install the Apache Kafka. So a later point of some, I think it is in 2012 or somewhere it was introduced, and later the LinkedIn actually given to the Apache Open Source Foundation for usage of other companies as well. But it was actually developed by the LinkedIn and as an in-house project, then later published to the Apache community. Now, if you want to install Apache Kafka, you can say Apache Kafka download. It will actually, okay, so one more thing I want to update is, when you say Kafka download, or when you type Kafka download, you will get a two link. One is basically you see kafka.apache.org, which is the open source version of Kafka, and also you will see the another link saying confluent.io/download of Kafka. So basically, there is a company called Confluent who is also providing the distribution of Kafka. So they take a Apache Kafka library or software or framework, they add other features, and they publish as their own distribution of Kafka. So like Apache Hadoop is there, and Cloudera, like Hortonworks company, take that Hadoop and build a wrapper over that, and they publish as a Cloudera distribution of Hadoop, which is CDH, and Hortonworks data platform, which is Hadoop platform provided by the Hortonworks. So similarly, Confluent is the one company, which is one of the famous company, who actually provides Kafka distributions. Okay, so this also gives a free one, okay, free version of Kafka. If you want, you can use that as well. But generally, I prefer as a learner, we should go with the Apache Kafka. So you can go to the download page of Apache Kafka. So latest version is 2.8.0. I made installation steps for the when I will share you this installation steps. I actually made these steps when I was when the Spark Kafka 2.6.0 was introduced. Okay, so I made this 1 year back. So same steps you can use it if you want to use it for the latest version of Kafka, which is 2.8.0. Okay, so you just go to this download page and download the binary file. So if you think it's so it is, so Kafka is initially it was built using Java, and later I think they migrated to the Scala. Okay, so Scala also has a different versions, right? So latest version is Scala 2.13 with the minor versions, and the previous one was Scala 2.12. So this binary was built both on they provide the binaries or the compressed file of Kafka framework, which is built with the Kafka Scala 2.12 or 2.13. You can download whatever version of you want to do. So I have a Scala 2.12 because Spark also we are using Spark. Spark with the Scala 2.12. That's why I downloaded the Kafka framework, which is built on the Scala 2.0. So you can download this. If you want to go with the 2.8.0, which is the latest version, you can go with that. Or if you want to go with the same version, which I have it in this installation steps, you can come here. So it is there in the kafka.apache.org/downloads page. You can download this file. Once download, so you can download directly and push it to your VM, or you can use a wget command to download it. And then, so all my softwares are managed in the directory of home, data making, and the softwares folder. Basically, data making is the username of my VM, and the software folders I'm pushing it. So I go there and extract it. How do you extract? Using a tar command. Once it is extracted, this will be your Scala installation folder. Okay, so set the Scala home. So that is one of the environment variable we set. So Scala export Scala home equal to Kafka home equal to the installation location of Kafka, and then export path equal to $path colon or $Kafka home/bin. Okay, so this will help you to set the environment variable for Kafka home. So next thing is there are a couple of things. So basically we need to start. So for Kafka to run, we need a Zookeeper. Okay, Zookeeper is the one of the components in Hadoop ecosystem, or maybe the big data in Hadoop ecosystem, which is used for coordination between different Java process. So okay, so between producer and consumers and Kafka broker, so they need to, because you see here in the architecture, if you see these are the different components. Okay, so producer is over different components. Basically the Kafka broker, this is Kafka broker, one Kafka. So cluster with as a 3 Kafka broker. So and you see consumer. So there will be always a coordination between different producer and consumer. They never talk to each other. So basically consumer and Kafka broker talk to each other. So there should be some handshake mechanism or coordination. So that's the reason we use the Zookeeper as a coordination. Okay, there is a talk going. So there may be in future, they will get rid of the Zookeeper. They will handle it within a Kafka itself for the handshaking or coordination. So I'm not sure which version they're going to remove it, but as of 2.60, even 7.0 I was using it. I'm not sure about the 2.8.0. Any question till now?
For Scala is required or Scala is not required to install?
Sorry?
Scala, do you need to install Scala as well?
Yeah, so basically it is part of our, Scala is needed. Okay. So we already did a part of the Spark installation. If you are not done, please do that.
Okay.
So if you already install Spark, I think you should have done already the Scala installation. Okay. So if you see this, so we already done it. Okay, you can refer the Spark installation notes. Sure. We already done it. Okay, so now okay, so once you set a Kafka home, then basically you need to, I told you Zookeeper we need to use. So before going to this, so you need to start the Zookeeper service first. Always when you want to start a Kafka broker, which is a Kafka service, you need to start the Zookeeper service or Zookeeper server. Okay, so Kafka server, before starting a Kafka server, you need to start a Zookeeper server. Okay, so there is a file. Okay, so there is a file called Zookeeper server. Zookeeper-server-start.sh, and you need to pass the property file of Zookeeper, okay, which is the zookeeper.properties. So if you pass this, the Zookeeper server will start. Okay, so basically if you run this command, Zookeeper server will start. Okay, but I don't want to run with this uh, uh, entire command. So I would prefer just starting a service like this kind of commands, like sudo systemctl start zookeeper. So basically, this is a service we need to create in a Linux system. So in Ubuntu, if you create a unit file, so this file is nothing but unit file or service file, you can call it as. So if we create something like this, okay, so we can actually start the uh, as a service, okay, like sudo systemctl start Kafka, start Zookeeper like that. Okay, but without creating this also, you can start the Zookeeper server. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this is one you have to create it for a Zookeeper. So you need to basically create a zookeeper.service file inside the, this is, we are doing it in Ubuntu, etc/system d/systems. In that location, if you have to create this file and place this content. Okay. Here, basically, you just what is the user you're going to use, and what is the Java, where is Java is installed, and basically which file you need to start when you start the service, which file you need to run when you want to stop the service. So, so that's what we are mentioning in the unit file. And in the server.properties of Kafka, so which will be so in this location you can find uh, server.properties. Okay, there by default delete topic enable will be false. You have to make it true uh, to delete the topic. Say example, if you want to delete a particular topic, then you need to enable this property. So I will show you the where I need that property. But once you make this, you can start creating the unit file or service file for Zookeeper. And similarly, you need to create a service file for Kafka. So in the Kafka, if you don't want to create this service file Kafka, so basically you need to run this command. There is a shell script which says a Kafka server start.sh. For this, you need to pass the uh, server.properties. Okay, so and if you want to stop the Kafka, either you can do Control C or you can use the Kafka server -stop.sh. Okay, so once you create a unit file, Kafka.service, so you can place this content, and then so your once you create a two service file, one for Zookeeper and Kafka service, then it is ready. Now you can go and start the Kafka. So I told you before starting the Kafka, you need to start the Zookeeper. Okay. Okay, if you want, you can verify it. Okay, so by default, uh, the port number for Zookeeper is a 9092. I'm sorry. Default port number for Kafka is 9092 and Zookeeper is a 2181. You can run this net start command to whether the port is running. So I logged into my VM through putty. So there is already a Zookeeper is running. I think listening here this is not running. So what I will do is I will first stop the Zookeeper service. Okay, I will. Okay, so it's already okay. Anyway, we'll stop and start. I will. I will. Sorry. I will delete this existing content. So Zookeeper keeps metadata inside this location. Temp Zookeeper underscore rules. So first I will, before starting this Kafka, I will start the Zookeeper server, which is a sudo systemctl start Zookeeper. So if you want to verify, you can use the status command to verify. So this is running. Now let's start the Kafka. We'll get the status of Kafka. So this is also running. So now Zookeeper's service is running, Kafka server is running. Okay. So I given you a couple of okay. So I given the steps how to start and stop, and if you want to find out the status of the service, what command you need to use. Now, if you run this let's start command, now 909 should be listening. Now, okay. So now we need to create a Kafka topic in order to publish the data. Okay. So okay. So before going to this. So this basically these are the different source systems generally Kafka uses. That means others. These are the systems in which they use Kafka to exchange data or maybe the published data, and which will be consumed by the other systems. Okay, now when you want to publish the data, right? So basically, you need to have the client for Kafka. So example, if you want to publish the data, so you act as a producer. So you need to have a Kafka producer client to publish the data. Similarly, if you want to consume the data from Kafka topic, you should have a Kafka consumer client. Okay, so Kafka client utilities or libraries are supported in a different programming language. So if you have a Java, if you want to work with the Java application, uh, uh, you want to work with the Kafka with the Java application. So you want to produce some data from the Java application, then the Kafka provides a client APIs in a Java to act as a producer and consumer. If you are using a Python application, then there is a package called Kafka-Python. If you install that, you can actually publish data to the Kafka, um, uh, the Kafka topic, and you can consume it. So for a different programming language, the Kafka client is available. You can use that. So since we are using PySpark, so we are going to use the Python, the Kafka client, which is available in Python. The package name is Kafka-Python. So I will show you once we go there. So okay, so Kafka provides the command line utilities to create a topic. So even using the API also you can create, but there are command line utilities which will help you to create a Kafka topic, delete Kafka topic, and then there is command line producer. Okay, so before you try with your own means before trying the Kafka utilities, so Kafka itself provides the command line utility for producing a sample data to the topic, and command line consumer to consume the data. You can check the installation of your Kafka whether it is working or not. Okay. So first thing is you should create a topic, because so in database what we do, we just create a table, then we do insert and select, update, different CRUD operation we do. Similarly, here we create a Kafka topic. So before going to this, any other question you have?
No, but
So on a whole, so basically Kafka is acting as a middleware. Okay. So so if even if you go to the you work in if you work in any the real time streaming applications, so you might use Kafka, not only with the PySpark structure streaming. If you use other frameworks like Flink or Storm, so yeah, wherever real-time streaming, you want to stream your data in a real time, one of the Kafka is one of the a good choice. There is other streaming platform as well, means messaging platform as well, like RabbitMQ and ActiveMQ and other messaging systems are there. But people who work on Spark and Hadoop related things, mainly Spark. Most of the Spark projects, they work with the Kafka. So that's why so Kafka out of box supports these source and sync for the Kafka. So okay, so first we create a Kafka topic. So I'll just create. I'll keep that. I'll be use it for other purpose. So I'll just use a test topic. So Kafka topic. So basically there is a shell script. So if you go to this location, so this is our. So as I said, I'm using a Spark 2.7.0. Sorry, Kafka 2.7.0. You can change when you whatever the version you use, accordingly you change the document when setting up the things. Okay, so this document is prepared for the installing Kafka 2.6.0. So I just go take this path over there. So this is the config location where you will see the server.properties and zookeeper.properties. And then if you see the bin folder, you see all these files. So to start a Kafka server, to start a Kafka zookeeper server, to stop it. Now we are using a Kafka-topics.sh, this file. This is the file we are using to create a topics. Okay, so we can access this file anywhere from our terminal, since we set the Kafka home. Okay, so if you don't set the Kafka home, so basically you have to provide the path and run it. And to create a topic, you need to use these properties: -create, -topic, and provide your topic name, which I say test-topic. And then you have to provide the bootstrap server, which is nothing but Kafka broker server on which the Kafka broker is running. I am running on my local machine, so I say localhost, the port number, which is the default port number 9092. I take this command, I run it here. So it says created topic, this topic. So if you want to list your topics, or if you want to describe your topic, okay, so you can run this command also. Basically same Kafka topic utility or shell script, and you have to say hyphen describe test topic. So it says the topic name is test topic. And so since we didn't set how many number of partitions we have to create, so basically when you're creating a topic, we can provide the number of partition you want to create. So since we don't provide, the default one is topic, partition only one. And also you see there is a replication factor. So since this is a distributed system, okay, so the data will be replicated in multiple machines to provide the fault tolerance. So since like our HDFS, we use replication factors to replicate your blocks to different different nodes in your cluster, so that if particular machine goes down, it can pick from the other node. So similarly, it supports the replication also. So this is one of the thumb rule. So any distribution system mostly supports partitions and replication related stuffs. Okay, so so we created this. Probably I will run this list command, and then we'll actually connect with the new link. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this list command to run the topics available in the Kappa. So I have only one topic. So this is a list command will be helpful to just to check topics which is created on the Kafka broker. Okay, so we'll see the Kafka command line producer and command line consumer in the new window. Sorry, new meeting. I'm stopping here. Please use the same link and connect back. We'll start there. Thank you.